get to work. Have a little fun.
Home movies. Whenever I set this thing up at home, I lose friends. But there's one man, when he shows his movies at home, all his friends come over. All 1,400 of them. The movie mogul of Kinmount, Ontario is getting ready to raise the curtain on another night of Hollywood escapism. Theater owner and projectionist Keith Stata has turned his childhood hobby into a living.
Yeah, as a kid I was always interested in making films, but unfortunately the starving artist routine really didn't appeal to me, so in the end I wound up showing films.
It's a job he first started thinking about as a 7-year-old.
I used to sit in the theater and look at the light coming from the booth and wonder what was behind all that.
Behind all that were the projectors that Keith would eventually collect.
This little Brumberger 8mm is very similar to the first projector my mother ever bought me back in the mid-50s, and we used it to show movies in the woodshed for 2 cents a head.
The Woodshed Theater eventually moved into Keith's bedroom. By the 70s, the family built a new house with a 50-seat summer theater off the living room.
The number 1 theater was the original theater that we built, and of course it opens right into the house, and the theater is actually partly under the house, and the bedrooms go over top of where we are here.
I would love to have a cinema right on our house.
When we first opened it, everybody thought it was in the living room, so that rumor persisted for a few years. It took a long time to actually overcome that.
20 years later, the house has had a few renovations. The more people who paid to see the movies, the more theaters Keith had to build. Now it's a 5-screen multiplex theater with seating for 550 people. All of it hidden behind Keith's house.
We're standing on the original house roof, and this, of course, is the entrance to the theater, and the illusion is you see only the corner where actually you have the number 1 theater, which is partly under the house, and number 2, number 3, number 4, and number 5, which you don't see at all.
To outfit his homemade theater, Keith works winters salvaging old movie houses. He adds the newfound treasures to the collection that is slowly taking over the theater.
The core of the circles on the wall is from the Strand Theater in Haileybury. The ballast control and the lights are from the Capel and Larder Lake. The seats are from the Gateway in Newmarket, and the projector is from the Regent in Collingwood. Oh, was it any good? Yeah. You liked it?
The mini movie mogul has worked his way from a woodshed to one of North America's most successful multiplexes. For 4 months of the summer, it draws 1,400 people a night. Those are blockbuster numbers when you consider there are 300 people in Kinmount. Keith's movie masses are drawn from the surrounding cottage country.
It won't start for a minute. You got another 60 seconds.
Just enough time for Keith to get to the booth. Every 15 minutes he has to hurry across the rooftop between the projection booths. That's on top of turning lights on and off, directing traffic, and being the doorman.
Let's see, how does it work? If I start late on number 4, but on time in number 2, I can't get back in time.
Even with 10 shows a day, Keith is still the Highlands' only projectionist. In 20 years, he hasn't missed a show. That's almost 25,000 movies.
People think I get to see all the movies, but actually, in showing them, all I get to see is the beginning, the middle, and the end.
At least until the fall, when the movie mogul gets to sit down in one of his home theaters and plan his next expansion.
I'm very lucky to actually be able to make a living from something I enjoy doing, because not very many people are lucky enough to have their hobby become a business.